The garden of the abandoned house at the edge of the street always possessed a somber, silent aura. Overgrown weeds and peeling paint created a scene utterly forgotten by time. It was there, one fateful afternoon, that I heard a faint, desperate sound, the muffled cry of a tiny soul pleading for help. Following the instinctual urge to investigate, I stepped into the gloom. The smell of damp earth and decay hung in the air, but the small, strained sound led me to a hidden corner beneath a rotting tree branch. The sight that met my eyes was horrifying, stopping me dead in my tracks. A tiny kitten, barely more than a newborn, lay completely engulfed in a rancid mouse glue trap. The sticky board, covered in insect fragments and dirt, had swallowed him whole. His entire body, from head to paw, was plastered to the surface. He couldn't move, only raise his wide, panic-stricken eyes toward me. His meow was not the sound of a kitten anymore, but a choked, heartbreaking whimper of absolute despair. I could see the fresh, red scrapes on his delicate skin from his final, futile attempts to escape. He was simply waiting to die. In that moment, a deep sense of outrage swelled in me. The glue trap is a cruel, inhuman invention. It does not grant a swift end, but condemns a creature to a horrific, slow death by fear, starvation, and agonizing pain. This scene was the starkest, most painful evidence of its true malevolence. I didn't hesitate. I carefully lifted the entire glue-laden trap with the kitten attached and carried them into the open space near my home. Donning a pair of thick gloves, I steeled myself for the grueling extraction that lay ahead. The removal of the trap was the hardest, most agonizing part of the entire ordeal. I began to slowly tear away the stiff cardboard base of the trap from the kitten's underside. With every small strip I pulled, the kitten let out an agonizing, high-pitched scream. It was a shriek of sheer panic and excruciating pain that tore through my heart. I had to proceed with painstaking slowness, using my fingers and even my fingernails to carefully wedge under the thick adhesive and peel the layers apart. The glue was tenaciously bonded to every single strand of his fine fur and his fragile skin. Each separation yanked his coat sharply, and he would cry and struggle futilely. The chemical stench of the glue sickened me, but I kept my focus, talking to him, offering the gentlest words of comfort, even though I knew he couldn't understand. "Just hold on, little one, almost done. You'll be safe." But the kitten still trembled violently, his eyes brimming with tears, looking at me with a terrifying mixture of fear and desperate plea. This process felt interminable. There were moments when the glue felt too thick, too secure, and I wanted to give up out of sheer helplessness. I would pause, take a deep breath, and continue. Every tissue and every tiny hair follicle of that kitten was bonded to the adhesive, and I had to free him from every tiny shackle. The feeling of utter powerlessness while watching a tiny creature writhe in pain was the most horrific thing I have ever experienced. Finally, after what felt like an hour of intense, deliberate, and painful effort, I managed to detach the entire trap, and most of the thick, tenacious glue from his tiny body. Now, though free from the board, the kitten was completely sticky and miserable from the remaining residue. I swiftly prepared a basin of warm water, mixed with a bit of cooking oil, a common solution to dissolve the adhesive, and began bathing him. I gently massaged his body, washing every crevice, every tiny lock of fur. Exhausted from his fight with the trap, the kitten lay still in my hands. The warm water gradually cleansed the foul, sticky substance. After multiple rinses, he was finally clean and soft. I wrapped him in a fluffy towel and gently blow-dried him on the lowest heat setting. His body, now clean, felt lighter and relieved, but he was still incredibly frail. I settled him into a warm box, gave him soft food and water. He ate hastily, as if he hadn't eaten in an eternity. After he finished, I checked his scratches, cleaned them, and applied antiseptic cream. The little kitten, whom I named Shadow, a reference to his dark hiding place and initial bleak appearance, began his long road to recovery. His scrapes healed, and his coat started to grow back soft and glossy. Shadow is a special cat. Despite the extreme pain and terror inflicted by the glue trap, he never lost his trust in humanity. He became intensely affectionate. He constantly curls up on my lap when I read, or follows me diligently around the house. The gentle, rhythmic purr he emits when being stroked is the sweetest sound I have ever heard. Whenever I see Shadow happily playing, healthy and full of life, I am instantly transported back to that horrifying moment in the abandoned garden. I remember his eyes, wide with despair, and his agonizing cries as I peeled away the glue. This memory reinforces my conviction. The glue trap is not merely a tool for pest control. It is an instrument of torture, an act of sheer inhumanity. It inflicts unimaginable suffering and sows fear, and a slow, cruel death upon tiny creatures. Shadow's story is more than a rescue. It is a vital reminder of our responsibility to choose humane actions. Shadow now has a warm home filled with love. The little cat, who was left to die in a sticky snare, has found a second chance at life, one that is worthy of his beauty and gentle innocence. And my life, since Shadow arrived, has become infinitely richer and more meaningful. This beautiful ending is the clearest testament to the power of compassion and unconditional love.